I'll show how the master model is being duplicated. You can divide this in 3 stages. The first is eliminating the undercuts and foiling the master model, placing foils on it. The second is getting the negative copy of this prepared or modified model. And third stage is to pour the investment material to get the duplicate model. The model is similar to the one that we have seen in partial acrylic denture. That's a third-class plaster. And we produce it in the same way, alginate in standard tray, and then on the model developed from this one, we make the individual tray, and then individual tray and silicone, take impression of the clinical case and get the working model or the working cast, which we have here in front of us. So we see that I needed to place some markings, to draw some markings on the model. And now undercutting, right? Undercuts. What does that mean? Well, like in the partial acrylic denture, we will cover with wax the undercuts, right? Those that are under the equator on the palatal side of the remaining teeth. And we do that in order to obtain a surface that is flat, like a flat cylinder surface, lateral surface, parallel, of course, to the insertion axis. That's the limit of where we shall place the counter clasps, the rigid arms of the clasps. So the difference here is comparing to the partial denture, acrylic partial denture, is that here we use wax, not cement or plaster or lead, yeah, as we used in the acrylic denture. Because here we will duplicate the model, so the wax should not resist any technological processes, just there to modify the model and to allow us to copy the model in this shape. On the other hand, we need this model at the end, because on this model we will adapt on it the cast, the metal cast that we produce on the duplicate model. On the same model, we shall place the teeth, the artificial teeth. Normally, for this we use the parallelometer, normally, regularly. We have seen that before. But in this case, the technician dares to do it by hand, so to say, because there are no malpositions of the teeth, so it's quite easy to do it with the naked eye, says this technician, which is true for him. Yeah, that's true. He is a very good technician. But the best is to do it by parallelometer. Because if you do it like this, you risk to overdo it, right? And to create more space than you really need, which will diminish the space for the tongue and impair the speech maybe. So now we place foils, wax foils, foliating the model. So this is wax foil, 0.4 millimeters. It's calibrated. So we already did here on the middle of the pallet, the torus. Here you see the main connector, but nevertheless I wanted to be to have it in under my control. You see that the connector does not touch there, but still the technician placed this wax just to make sure that whatever happens, it's safe. See, the same thing is done on the papilla. Yeah, it's the retroincisive papilla. In the frontal zone, we will not place any foil because we want the saddle, the metal saddle, to sit on the gum. We don't want acrylic to touch the mucosa in the frontal region. So we don't want to place a foil. We don't want to create a distance between the metal and the gingiva. Because all those foils, you understand it well, they create distances in the final shape of the metal frame. You see, the metal frame goes till there, and we want it to touch the gingiva, except for that papilla, which is too sensitive. There we place a foil. So the resiliency of the mucosa there is minimal, 0.1, 0.2. That's why we want to protect it from the pressures of the metal framework. Possible pressures, right? Although the metal framework sits on the teeth, you see those rests that will discharge the forces on the remaining teeth. That's true, but nevertheless, we want to make sure that nothing will happen. Yeah, because of those things, you understand that the metal framework will not sink into the gum. That's true, but that's what I was saying. Let's make sure. Now this is for the lateral region, for the crests. You see, it's doubled. That's 0.8, just to give enough space for the acrylic resin to go under the shape of the pattern of the saddle and to be able to fix the artificial teeth with the metal framework. So here I want to have a distance because I want the acrylic resin to go under the metal framework. I didn't isolate the model in wax. We did that at the partial acrylic resin, but here I don't want that. I want the wax to adhere to the model. Of course, when I want to create the final denture and I will place this on this very model, then I will have to wash the wax. That's okay. But now I want to fix it thoroughly to the model. So here, on the distal part of the remaining teeth, and on the terminal region, we want to have a metal rest. So we cut actually the wax, and we will allow the metal to touch the plaster of the model. Why? Because I want to make sure that the metal, once placed in position, does not have any balance movement. So here also on the inside we have to glue the wax to our model, so to say. But you see there the metal will have a pin. Now you see the margins that I want to give to my framework. So now I place a little bit of a foil there, which is a very, very thin layer of wax. You can't tell how much, it's very little. I have to take care for the palatal rugae to make sure that they are protected. You see, this is a pink wax. It's the one used for the basis of the dentures in general. So this is very thin, tiny, just to make sure that the mucosa is protected. Will be protected, right, when we transform this into a metal framework. Well, actually not this, but the pattern that we will create on the duplicate model made according, or which is a copy of what we see now. So now everything is prepared. Nothing to do on the labial. This is for the second part of our production, when we produce actually the final metal framework. I mean the pattern, the wax pattern of the metal framework. So now we are ready to duplicate.